here's where I am currently on the second Ankha polystyrene drawing. I've just been working on the back since I'm pretty much done with the front and sides. I just have to, after I do the details for the back, the outlining and details for it, I just have to do the outlining and then the coloring in of the top and bottoms. I recall spending the morning to early afternoon hours working on doing most of the back of Echidna's hair. If I recall, I think I fell asleep around 2 to 3 p.m. and then woke up sometime between 7 and 8 p.m. By which point, all I really had left to do on the hair was basically, I had already put some yellow after outlining all of the blue in order to designate the areas where the yellow bands would be. Connect them side to side on the back. I just needed to use an ultrafine Sharpie marker in order to fill in any empty space that would have been too risky to fill in with the fine tip yellow Sharpie marker. That I used when initially coloring in the yellow bands, essentially in the middle of Ankha's hair. I recall around 6 in the morning having 2 slices or a quarter of the garbage plate pizza with my first cup of coffee for today of a morning pot of which I had 2 full cups and a partial third cup. Roughly from 6 in the morning to noon. And then I recall around 12:45 p.m. having the last remaining chicken Cobb salad. The other of the two I brought to Dad's place from Mom's place. Along with a glass of milk. And I recall that as being around the time I stopped working on the polystyrene drawing before I ended up falling asleep. I would have had a quarter of the leftovers of the garbage plate pizza sometime between 3 to 4 p.m. Maybe as late as 5 p.m., but I would have uploaded yesterday's my dinner video, or at least started uploading it around 4 p.m. I ended up falling asleep in the early afternoon, so instead I had to upload it around 7:15 p.m. since that was around the time I woke up after falling asleep sometime between 1 and 3 p.m. I edited yesterday's my dinner video, I think around 1 p.m. if I recall. And ever since getting up, I've been working on other details of the back of the second Ankha polystyrene drawing. Ever since I used an ultrafine yellow Sharpie marker to finish coloring in the yellow bands in Ankha's hair. I spent the morning hours until either noon or right before noon trying out this game called Dungeoneers on Congregate. which is essentially one of those roguelike games. The primary objective of the game is to slay the dragons that you find in their lair. I'm currently at 13 dragons slain. After going through the career lairs, one white dragon, then one black dragon. For some reason, Congregate's API didn't count the black dragon, maybe because at the time it was in the morning and I was switching between being connected to Dungeoneers and being connected to Raid Heroes Total War. Then I beat a green dragon, then a blue dragon, and then the red dragon. And now I'm currently repeating that, only this time there's 2 of each dragon. I got as far as beating the 2 blue dragons before deciding to call it quits for now, since by that time I had gotten both the easy badge and the medium badge for the game, which you get for defeating 2 and 10 dragons respectively. I've gotten 13. Though Congregate's API currently only counts 12. It's a pretty well-made game. Has some good voice acting. Released in 2018. Late 2018. And, when you beat a room, you automatically pick up all of the gear. You start off with bare bones gear, and you're supposed to look for the rooms where you can get better gear. Essentially, don't do what I did initially, I think for at least the first 2 dungeons. And go for every single room, essentially intending to grind for experience points. Since then, you'll likely get hits for nothing. Don't risk getting hit in dungeon encounters unless you'll ideally get a chance to improve your equipment out of it, or get health potions or scrolls out of it. Be strategic about which rooms you'll go into, and once you're in there, try to be strategic about how you'll go about the encounter. I have a sneaking suspicion that if you aren't tactical in room encounters, you'll get worse equipment. It's just based off some of the names they give for the equipment, like Shield of so-and-so. And it kind of makes me suspect that. One name they have is like maybe the Shield of Premature Celebration. I don't know if it's just random to be meant to be funny, but I just got a suspicion of it. Either way, it's still a pretty good game. Here's where I am currently on Elvenar. So far, I've just got this built of the Alumni settlement. I'm not 100% sure on how to pronounce it, but Umni? Either way, that's the chapter I'm currently on. I'll be building more of the settlement in the future. Though I may need extra room for it. I didn't pay much attention to Elvenar since it seems a special event is coming up, but that won't be till later. For the most part, I focused more on Dungeoneers in the morning, and then generally throughout the day, Raid Heroes Total War with a bit of Queen's Blade Limit Break. Roughly from 8 to 9:30 in the morning. I think while I was at the same time also doing dungeon crawls on Dungeoneers in the background in between. Or either that, I simply resumed to doing that once I was done with Queen's Blade Limit Break. I think that's more likely.